Welcome to the No Shot NBA podcast with Chuck and Duck. And engineer Ben behind the scenes.
Heyo, we back. It's back. No Shots podcast, episode 4. What is this? What's the title for this episode?
I believe that it's called It's Back.
It's back,
Baby.
Well, this is the No Shots podcast with Chuck and Duck. I'm Duck. That's Chuck to my left.
Hello.
Hello, Chuck. And on the ones and twos, playing the drops, we got EB.
Good evening.
Engineer Ben.
That's a remarkably idiotic thing that you just said. But
The NBA season is here, and we are going to cover it. Coming up on the podcast, we got Harden is loading his clips. Uh-oh. We got a bunch of general impressions on the start of the season.
Jesus Christ.
Got some hometown romps and rants. Got some quick shot predictions, award predictions and whatnot. A little court report and a farewell to a friend.
What the hell is a podcast? I mean, why don't you just tape it? What are you doing?
Well, I agree. But how's everyone doing? How you doing, Chuck?
Oh, I'm doing well, you know. Had to teach some long hours today, but yeah, I'm doing good, you know. Just been kind of hanging out, and it's going to be my birthday this weekend, so, you know, I'm excited.
It's coming up.
Because, yeah.
I'm excited too.
You know, I just love opening gifts. It's like one of my favorite things to do.
And you're gonna get a lot of gifts this year. I have a feeling.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I don't have one. Don't look at me.
You were telling me earlier about how you were gonna bring me a gift.
I'm gonna bring you your gift
Big
from last
gift.
year.
Yes.
That I
Please
didn't
bring
give
back
you.
my Richard Russo
I'm
book.
gonna re-gift you.
Yeah,
your
but
gift.
otherwise I'm doing swell.
That's good to hear. How you doing, EB?
Chilling, kind of busy. I'm moving. I'm recently started a new job. Secret project. Cannot talk about it. I saw a cool concert in Union Square today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like
How was that?
Like punky rock band, kind of like Sports.
Oh. Okay.
I went looking for a protest, didn't see the protest, stayed for the band.
Stumbled on the concert.
Stumbled on the concert.
I love it.
But yeah, you know, that's it.
That's it. It's good to hear.
Yep.
Well, we had a holiday pass. All Hallows Eve. What'd you guys do for Halloween?
Ain't do shit.
I watched
Ain't
The
do shit?
Sopranos.
Watched The Sopranos?
I hung out with you, and then I went home to sleep.
Yeah, we did hang out for a little bit.
I think the real question is,
What'd
what
you
did
guys dress up
Danny
as?
do for Halloween? Oh, I was
Yeah, you did dress up.
Vincent Price.
I'm going to give the people what they
Price.
It
want.
was very
Pulled it
lazy,
off.
lazy Vincent Price.
It was good. I liked it.
And
Thank
you,
you.
Danny?
I was, I had an Air Force costume, and that's it. So, Top Gun? I don't know.
You said you were Top Gun. You were confidently Top
Yeah.
Gun. I mean,
I
it
had
was-
a bandana in case I wanted to be an Oliver Stone character, but I don't think people know who Oliver Stone is. So I just...
I don't think it matters.
I don't
on
think it matters. It's a
Halloween.
it's like a costume, you know.
Yeah, I had a costume.
It's actually
yeah.
more interesting that way people can say,
So what's the band?
are
Like, which
you?
one are you?
Who are
Yeah.
you?
Do you think Halloween has been like diluted by all of us generation, like constantly having to make our costumes into like a reference to something?
You mean you wish you could go back to like
Just
the,
being a
the
ghost,
good old
just
days?
being
with
a
the
ghost
ghosts?
and a
You have
clown.
like
Because I
5
always did this.
options, a
Yeah.
list of options.
Yeah, you have a list of options. You got the goblin, you got the ghoul, you got the skeleton.
Ghouls.
The girl skeleton.
There's just like one very specific internet meme I see about this, and it pisses me off, honestly.
Yeah.
But anyway,
you got a
Danny,
point.
where did you go on Halloween?
Oh, after I hung out with you, I went to the club.
Oh.
We need a yeah.
Well, I'll get you.
Thank you.
We need a club drop. Yeah, it was fun. A lot of fun costumes I saw at the club. Got a bottle, a table. We were living large. It was like the first time I've ever done this in the club setting. Big spenders.
Give it out
Mm-hmm.
to Duck.
Big spenders, Duck in the club. But yeah, smoked a blunt in the club. No one said a thing. Not a thing. But yeah, it was chill. Went to a club for a few hours. That's it. That's it. My
You don't get those stories. They're too
Yeah.
juicy. Sorry, Pod.
Juicy.
That's
Yeah.
my dad's friend kept calling me Che Guevara. And I was like, and he was like, he's dressed as Che Guevara, man. And so people were taking him seriously. He was like, no, that's an American that's like American uniform he's wearing. And I'm like,
Well, Che Guevara is American
technically.
when you think about it.
Oh boy.
You know, that's actually
getting
an Air
political
Force
this episode.
episode, even though it says Army.
Yeah, I was like, bro,
Anyway.
just don't take this guy seriously. He just thinks
no.
I look like the guy. But anyways, that's what we did on Halloween. So, well, let's get right into it.
Woohoo.
Did some small talk, some Halloween recap. Now, going to segment 1. Harden to the LA Clippers.
Jesus Christ.
I know, right? So, what we got here? We got Harden's going to the Clips. Harden and PJ Tucker going to the Clippers. We got...
And Philip Petrusev. Don't forget about him.
Oh, I did forget about Philip Petrusev. Thank you for reminding me. Shout out to Philip. We got Marcus Morris, Nick Batum, Robert Covington, KJ Martin, and do you have the picks?
Yep, an unprotected 2028 first-round pick via Clippers, 2 second-round picks via Clippers, first-round pick from the Thunder,
Okay.
because they kind of swapped out,
Yeah.
and a first-round pick swap via the Clippers.
Yeah, like 3 picks. Three like two swaps.
2
and
firsts, a swap, and 2 second
2 seconds.
rounds.
Yeah, that's. You know what? Salute to Daryl Morey. You know he is a liar, but he got some assets out of it. That 28. That
I don't know.
28
Isn't
pick,
just everyone a liar? I feel like anytime one of these general managers does anything, it's a liar. You know, this is probably the wrong time to start bringing up this tangent, but like,
Let's go on a tangent, shall we?
like, you know the whole thing where the players like are sort of complaining that they found out on Twitter that they were being traded?
Yeah.
Like, we live in this like instant age. Like, I feel like the reports are getting out there faster than like the communication can even
Happen.
get to the player.
Yeah.
But so I think I don't know. It's a little.
I agree with that.
That's true. It's a really high visibility industry where
Yeah.
literally everything that happens or might happen is constantly publicized. So
Yeah, and you know, I guess there is proper communication, but also, I don't know. This is kind of this sports league stuff has always been ruthless. So
Yeah.
I don't know. This isn't the first time that
Yeah.
someoe's been lied to. It happens
Oh, no.
over and over and over again.
Of course, yeah.
And honestly, James Harden's not that bad of a person to lie to. Like, I don't know. Like what has he done that makes you, like, apparently, to get into it, like, it's on record now, like, that he was super unhappy doing, you know, that, I mean, when he said literally, I'm not a system player. I am a system. Like, it came out like he was super unhappy last year doing all that. And there was stuff with Doc Rivers. I think it was on Bill Simmons' podcast. He was talking about once James didn't make the All-Star team, he was like in a total funk. He hated doing all that setting up on Embiid shit.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to, I don't think he wanted to be on the team last year. So
Probably
this
not.
doubled with the contract stuff. Definitely
Yeah.
kind of threw it for a loop. But
Do for a loop. I mean, no, I agree with all of that, honestly. But
do we want to start with the Clippers, or do you want to start with like you want to keep going on Philly?
I
here?
kind of want to talk about Philly.
You want to talk about Philly first?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they got some depth, right, in this Harden trade. Let's break it down. Love Rocco going back to Philly, where it all
Yeah,
started.
just need they got to trade for Jeremy Grant, and they got to get Ben Simmons back in uniform. And we can do this all
we
over
could
again.
trust the process
We try this again.
all
Try
again.
the process
Bring
again.
back Hinkie.
Well,
Yeah.
it's still the same process.
Yeah, but
the
It's
end
an
of it.
extension of the
Yeah.
process.
Full
Really
circle.
is.
but
Yeah.
Rocco's kind of cooked.
Yeah, Rocco's cooked. Rocco's cooked. I mean,
Active hands.
yeah, he'll still play some good team defense here and there.
Yeah,
I mean, Marcus Morris is cooked.
Marcus Morris is cooked.
Yeah.
So glad he's off the Clippers.
Nick Batum. I kind of like KJ Martin because I think he has another year off after this, right?
I'm not sure
Or
about
they
the
all
contract.
expire.
I do like KJ Martin, like total energy player.
Yeah.
I feel like he's gonna be useful to some team. I'm not sure it's this
It's
team.
this
the
team.
way
Yeah, exactly.
They're a big situation right now with like Paul Reed in the back. They really like Paul Reed.
Paul
They're playing
Reed.
him a bunch.
And we got Oubre.
Yeah, but
Tsunami Poppy.
Batum is nice, but he is kind of close to being finished.
I mean, yeah, like
It's
it's
been a long time. Like he was playing on those Brandon Roy Blazers teams. It's about time.
Oh yeah, I loved those teams.
I mean, a lot of this stuff I feel like, and I don't know who they're gonna try to go after maybe, but it does feel a lot of these are expiring,
Yeah.
and a lot of everyone's been talking about how the cap room that they have this summer
It's
is
looking
building.
good. Yep.
So these are good players to trade off, and I think they can swing these picks for someone.
Yeah.
Who that is, I don't know. And is that person worth it? Because there's talk of like Zach LaVine, and of course you
LaVine.
got Siakam.
Siakam OG.
But I'm just OG. I'm just not sure any of these players make me think like Sixers have a real shot here.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, this first off, the fact that they got any assets from this Harden situation is a W in my book. That 28 pick is a serious asset. Unprotected, who knows what the Clippers look like in 2028? Who the hell knows?
That's
4
a
years.
mystery.
They now have 4 tradable picks to go get one of those Levine and Anobis.
Mm-hmm.
Siakams. Who else is gonna be on the market? Who knows?
It's not a good free agency class.
It's not. I mean,
And
I
you-
agree with you. In the long term, does it really do one of those guys move the needle and make them a serious contender? Probably not.
No, the only thing that makes them a serious contender is Joel Embiid going out and just absolutely dominating a postseason, which he's yet to do.
He is
Like,
yet
I
to
think you can put some other pieces around him that I think could help him out, but eventually, like, and this is what I like about, because I think they're going to just be better without Harden, to be frank.
Yeah.
But I think, like, because you can't have, like, too slow. It's a lot to have two slow, kind of plodding offensive players. And to have Harden and Embiid, like, those are both guys who, well, Embiid's just kind of massive.
Yeah.
And where he gets the ball, like, in the high post there, he wants to jab and do his little thing.
Yeah.
And it's effective. But, like, to have kind of two players like that around where Harden,
Wants
when
to do
Embiid's
the
out
same
of the game,
thing on
he
the
gets
perimeter.
to just stand and dribble
Yeah.
and not move. And now I think some of their other pieces kind of fit well. Like, it's nice to have, you know, opposites. Like, we talk about this when we talk about Dame and Giannis, right?
Yeah.
Where, you know, Dame can create off the dribble. He can shoot from deep. He's going to,
He can
you
catch
trust
and
his
shoot,
free
yeah.
throw shooting. And you have, you know, Giannis, great roller, great attacker of the basket,
Yeah.
great
Great in
defender.
transition, yeah.
Right, these things kind of complement each other in that way. But I think Maxey just complements Embiid so much better
yeah.
because he moves. The guy is a lightning bolt and he wants to get up and down. I don't really trust, you know, it is hard to run eventually if your best player doesn't run, and
Yeah.
Embiid will not run.
Yeah.
But I do think it is good for some, like, offensive versatility where when defenses go into games playing these guys, they know that they're not going to just have to stand there with Maxey.
Yeah. No.
I think I wrote down, where is my stat here? Yeah, Philly, they ran dribble handoffs for example, here, they are triple their average this year. They were at 2.9 last year, and they're up to 9.3, which is second in the league.
Wow.
And they did a lot of good things before Harden showed up with like Seth Curry and JJ Redick.
Yeah.
Embiid is very effective at setting these like dribble handoff screens
For great shooters.
for great shooters. And it's been an effective form of offense in the past. So like I think it was weird to kind of go away from something that really had been proven to work with Embiid. And
now with Nick Nurse instead of Doc, I trust Nick Nurse to get the offensive rolling a little bit more. Well, let's go to the Clippers side of it. And this is where we look at our friend engineer Ben. What do you think about this trade?
how are you feeling?
How you feeling?
Emotionally in your heart. This is your hometown team.
This is Ben's hometown squad.
Well,
Hometown boys.
we had a bit of a months-long build-up to this where we knew
Yeah.
Harden wanted to go to L.A. And now we have 4 L.A. guys and 1 Croatian who would have totally dominated the league like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Or maybe even not. But I don't know. What do you think? Can these guys gel?
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Here's what I wrote. First of all, I gave both teams a B grade for this trade. I gave the Clips a B plus because I don't love the fit, but this is what the Clippers have been looking for. They've been looking for an elite playmaker for years now. Pretty much since they got Paul George and Kawhi. Like they've ran those guys out with like Lou Williams and Patrick Beverly, Reggie Jackson.
Yeah.
Like none of these guys were playmakers.
True.
Right? Harden's an elite playmaker. Now, that being said, I mean, they have Westbrook, who also kind of was filling that role at the end of last season a little bit, here and there. That being said, I still don't love the fit. Like, none of these guys are off-ball players besides maybe Paul George.
I mean, Paul George and Kawhi are good at running around screens but it is kind of weird to put them off ball because, like, the duplicity of those kind of players are that they can do both. Like, the point is to be multifaceted and to have a player who can, come off. George comes off screens a bunch.
Yeah.
Kawhi comes off screen. George will actually
Kawhi comes off screens,
run
but
around
then
things. Then he kind of gets
the ball
into his
and then,
jab step.
and looks for his spot.
So, I just think, oh my gosh, I can't. There is no effing way this works at all. Harden. It makes the most sense to put Harden like kind of off ball sometimes, but the guy won't catch and shoot jumpers.
Yeah, he won't.
So and there was
He'll just stand there.
There was an example last night. I think it was the middle of the third quarter when Harden, he got this. I can't remember who was driving, but he got a kick out pass right at the top of the key. There's no one within 3 feet of him. Knicks defender comes barreling out. He's got so much time to just set up and shoot. He pump fakes. He waits, pump fakes. The guy runs by him. He takes a step. He takes a side step, fires, clank. It's like the first. He's good, and he's good at shooting. He doesn't shoot a lot. What do I have here? Over the first 7 seasons of his career, he took 2.8 catch and shoot threes per game, and now he's at 1.3 per game over the last 7 seasons. Oof. So he just doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Which I don't see how that works, because if you're going to have these wings create, which I think at the end of games, they're going to have to do, you have to have someone who's just ready to fire.
Yeah.
And this is one of my biggest just problems with Harden is he's a bowling ball in the mud until he decides he wants to get rolling.
Yeah.
So he's gonna stand there, and then when when the ball finally comes to him, he wants to do his stuff, right? He's not a system player.
He is the system.
So, like, I just think it's too many mouths to feed.
Yeah,
and
not
I don't
enough ball.
understand how Harden thinks that this is going to be a better system for him. Like, obviously, I mean, and you could see it last night. Some of he does, he's going to make some good drives. He's going to kick out to some Kawhi, like, threes, Paul George threes. Like, the creation is nice. He got Zubats involved, who, I don't think is having a great season by any means. But I think at the end of the game, right, it's going to be in those two guys' hands. And if they want to win, go as far as they can go, it's got to be in Kawhi and George's hands.
Yeah.
So, like, as much as we can fantasize about this, Harden, it is, an elite passing that they don't have before.
Yeah.
But it's not this, like, connective tissue passing that they really need. Because to me, like, especially last night in that, like, fourth quarter, it was just a lot of your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn. One pass, they created one action shot. They're not forcing teams into multiple sort of rotations.
Yeah.
So I just think, and obviously they're going to look better than they did last night. But
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
and Knicks are a good defense. They're good rotating defense.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I just think against like elite competition, like they're gonna go. I mean, this is a problem that I'll get to later with the Celtics. There's too much isolation, and there's not enough. They're not causing enough rotations.
Yeah.
And I just don't
I think a lot of teams are having
who's
that problem.
gonna be the role player here, because I mean, I feel like Russ will settle to be the role player, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
That's also
just
not in his
Harden's,
DNA.
It's not, but he's doing better, and I've liked Russ's game, but I think he probably needs to go to the bench. So
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I think it's too much.
Here's the thing. Yeah, I completely agree with everything you say, but they are so much better when Paul George and Kawhi sit out with Harden now.
It's
So
true.
much better. So now they can at least stay afloat. I feel like if those guys are out.
This is true.
Now when those guys are in, there's a lot of other problems too. So, do you want to get to the game, Ben, now, or you want to save that for next segment?
I
can save it. It's not.
I do
related
have
to
one.
Okay.
I also, weirdly enough, I am kind of worried about their defense.
Oh yeah, I am too. I
Yeah.
am too.
Because, and obviously, it's not even just Harden. Like, I was kind of concerned about it before. They're just, I mean, obviously,
Harden was kind of trying, at least for part of
yeah.
that game
Oh
on
my
defense.
gosh.
He can be a good defender.
He can
when
make
he
attempts.
wants to.
Yeah.
But I think what it's a lot of stress on Zubats, who is just not.
He's not like
He
a
looks
elite rim
very.
protector.
Yeah, he's not a good rim protector. He's very immobile. He's been pretty bad on offense this year too. But like, I just think I don't know. Everyone kind of eats him up in a way. And now with Plumlee out, I think they're in
Plumlee.
like a big hole. Because I
Yeah.
think like what you saw when they played the Lakers is like Davis just, and the Lakers' size just kind of monstering them down low. And then obviously there's Jokic. I feel like they're gonna have problem with all these big teams, because I don't think that Kawhi and George are necessarily ready to just like take on these these big dinos.
Yeah. No,
out
I
there.
agree.
And then I don't. So then, if you're having Russ and Harden out there, your perimeter defense is now. And Russ can play defense at times. He more gets lost off ball.
Yeah.
But like they do. I don't know. I haven't liked necessarily what I saw like from their interior defense so far this year. I don't think has been very good.
No,
Anyways.
I agree. They do still have Terrence Mann, which is
They
nice
do.
that they got to
Yeah.
keep him.
He should start.
Yeah, he should.
The No Shots Podcast is brought to you by Blurbs.com.
Okay, moving on to the next segment. the general impression segment. Well, how you guys want to do this?
Who wants to go first?
You guys want to go one at a time?
Yeah, let's
do
do
one
one
at
at
a
a time.
time.
Let's
Let's
just
do one
flip
at a
around.
Does anyone want to go first? I could go first.
You go first.
You
there,
started
Doc.
off.
I'll start off. My general impression. Now I want to check the standings real quick. We are a few games into the season. Are the Miami Heat and Memphis Grizzlies in trouble?
A question.
A question.
Yeah.
We're starting off with a question.
I haven't watched many Heat games, but the Grizzlies for sure.
Yeah. I haven't watched many games either.
I think
to
that
be
the
honest.
Grizzlies are in a shit ton of trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they can feel it's just the fact that, I mean, they were so much better the other night. I was watching the last 5 minutes of that Portland, the game after they lost.
Mm-hmm.
And they were finally able to lock someone down, which I had read somewhere that they had given up the most 3-pointers in NBA history over the first
6
five
games.
games or something like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I think, some of that's probably bad luck shooting. But
Yeah.
I do think it's a problem because they have no interior defense, and they brought in Biyombo, so they were a little better the other night against Portland. They actually did kind of stonewall Portland, but it's Portland.
Yeah.
But I just think they're in trouble because, the previous game against Portland, Jaren Jackson Jr. finally showed up to play, and Desmond Bane, those two guys went off, and
Yeah.
they still lost to Portland.
That's tough.
So I just think, they don't have the bigs.
No.
They play a lot of small guys. They've had some, injuries to their, Santi Aldama's been out for a while. I don't think that this is gonna. I don't think that they can quite hold it together. Maybe
Until
Ja
Ja
gets
comes
back and they
they
go on a run.
But still, even then, it might be too little, too late. They might just end up in the play.
It's a competitive West. You
It's
can't
very
just get
competitive.
behind this many games.
You know what? Honestly, them trading. I love Marcus Smart, and I still think that's going to be a good trade for them eventually. But them trading Tyus Jones, he was a big reason why they were quote unquote better without Ja.
Yeah, I
Huge
definitely
reason.
think so.
Huge reason.
Everyone talks about the Tyus Jones trade, the JJJ issues, the lack of the bigs. But there's something that no one talks about that Memphis has lost.
Oh yeah.
That's Dylan Brooks.
Oh shit!
Man, I can't believe this person's talking.
Basketball means, everything in my life.
I do agree that they do not have a strong wing defender now. Last year they did have, he is, you can't doubt it.
Scrappy,
He's a good, good,
Oh yeah.
Gritty.
gritty. Yeah, I think Smart will be better when Ja's back.
Yeah.
Because
I agree.
he's not meant to be. He's meant to be that sort of off ball, even a backup. But
Yeah.
they do miss Brooks. I think it's obvious they miss his size and probably his intensity. It's a different kind of intensity than kind of Smart brings.
I do
Yeah.
think he brought a certain identity to the team.
For sure.
That way, Smart is like a Harvard version of whatever Dylan Brooks was.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, who wants to give their next impression?
Oh, did we talk about the Heat? You said the Heater.
Oh yeah. What about the Heat?
Well, I
not
think I was
worried.
Yeah, I'm not worried.
Not
I'm
worried.
too
No,
worried-
I'm
too
never that worried
the
about the Heat. They'll be, whatever they end up with, they'll be happy. You want me to do one of my
Go
for it.
impressions?
Go for it.
Okay. One of the games I watched. Okay, one of the games I watched was the Raptors and the Spurs,
Okay.
two of Kawhi's old teams.
Oh yeah. How can we forget?
Which I
BB's
wasn't
favorite
even.
BB won't let us forget.
Which also, is this is saying Kawhi is your favorite player? Is that weird? Do people think that's weird? Is he not liked?
I'm a fun guy.
No, he's just not like.
He's not. I know he doesn't have a big personality
Yeah,
necessarily.
he's just not like.
No, but I think it's a reasonable take. I don't know. I bet there's a whole group of people out there who love this guy.
I think
Come
it's
on.
just like smaller
It's
than
cool.
like
He's
the
different.
LeBron, KD,
The LeBron-
Kyrie,
yeah, for
Ja.
sure. Because
Yeah,
I told that
Steph.
to the guy I was playing with in the park, Elvis, and he was like, "Kawhi, why?"
What?
But then he was like, LeBron's really big, but I think maybe Kawhi is bigger.
Ooh, spicy.
I was like,
I
I
don't
wasn't even
think so.
thinking about how big they
That's
are.
LeBron's
crazy
huge.
take.
I don't know.
by
Okay,
this guy.
That's
anyway.
crazy take. Anyway,
By the way, that's our one listener, Elvis.
Yeah.
We'll get to him later.
so the Spurs had a 22-point lead. The Raptors came back in the fourth. OG Anunoby hit a buzzer beater that was similar to that Derek White shot in last year's conference finals.
That was fun.
The announcer was screaming, "Not in time! Not in time!" And then Wemby took
But
a
it was.
shot, and it swirled around, and it rimmed out. Now I did some stat
Oh.
digging here.
Some
Nothing
statcasting.
fancy though, but I took a look. Well, okay, with two players from each teams. Wemby had 20 points.
Okay.
Zach Collins had 21 points.
God, I get too many Zach Collins post-ups in my life.
I know, right? That's the
Zach.
price you pay for watching generational talent. Wemby had 9 rebounds. Collins had 11 rebounds. Wemby had 4 assists. Collins had 5 assists. We go to the other side. Anunoby had 24 points. Dennis Schroeder had 24 points. Anunoby had 7 boards. Schroeder had 3 boards. Anunoby had 4 assists. Schroeder had 7 assists. Now, the eventual score of the game was 123 to 116. The Raptors came back to win it by 7, right? Mm-hmm. All right? So now if we combine the points of these guys into two monster super players, Zactor Wembanyamans scored 41, while O.D. Shrinobi came out with 48, a 7-point difference.
Wow.
Oh,
And there's your game within a game.
there's a game within a game.
And that's the game within the game. I love it.
All right.
I don't have much of a take on that except, like,
All right, well,
the Raptors look like, despite their deficiencies, they look like a team that's played together.
they do look like a team.
Yeah.
But also, this can lead into one of my impressions.
Yeah, go for it.
Which is Scotty Barnes is the best player on the Raptors right now.
Whoa.
I agree.
This is coming from someone who did not like Scotty Barnes last
I
year.
don't like Scotty Barnes. I still don't trust his mechanics shooting-wise, but
Yeah.
his usage is up 5 percentage points. His points per attempt is up. His efficient field goal percentage is up 10%. He's shooting 42% from 3, which is up from 29%. I don't think he'll shoot that, the whole season. Like, maybe
Yeah.
he'll get... If he can just jump down into that, 35, 36 range, that's a huge move.
That's still great, yeah.
The Raptors are a plus
Not sure.
22 points per possession when he's on the court. Ben didn't really talk about him that much, but he really tormented San Antonio the other night with his activity on the boards and
Okay.
defensively. Blocked a couple 3-pointers.
Awesome.
And I just feel like they're using him very effectively in this system. Than in Nick Nurse's. They run a little high screen action, and they're doing a great job of getting him into the middle of the floor.
Yeah.
And he's doing a great job of kicking out to teammates. He finds the what's the big guy's name down there?
Siakam, Poro.
Podol. Yeah, he did a good job of finding Podol on one little. It was a double screen and roll. So
Love that.
he just looks a lot smoother. I don't think the jump shot looks that much better,
Yeah.
but he looks a lot smoother and confident. He's taken some step backs, which I was like, whoa. But most of all, he's just making quicker decisions, and his long mid range is 69%.
Wow.
And so combine that all with Pascal's at 15 points a game right now, and he's down 9 points a game. He's taking 4 less shots. This team kind of is running through Scotty right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, as they should. I mean, I like Scotty's playmaking and
So
I love his defense.
I mean, it's only, 6 games so far, but he
Yeah,
looks like the
small
best
sample
player,
size.
and yeah, they look like a team. They do look like a team again, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure where Pascal's really sits. Always the problem with the Raptors is those two guys are playing the same kind of role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't mind a Pascal trade at this point.
yeah, I think he needs to go. But I
Yeah.
think Scotty's doing a great, he's just done a great job.
Yeah, definitely
so
looking
far. So
much
that's-
better than last year.
That was one of my impressions.
That's fair. I mean, leading to my next impression, don't even have too much to say about it, other than Wemby looks amazing. He just looks great.
He does.
It looks like he's getting better every game.
Yeah.
It's only a few games, but man, that Phoenix game, he just took over.
Yeah. I was someone I was listening to mention that, like, you can tell he's kind of, finding his footing, like, these first time arounds against these teams.
Mm-hmm.
And but maybe, like, on the second go around, he kind of knows what to expect, which is what played out in that Suns game, where, they played the first time, and he looked like just really awkward for the first half.
Timid.
And he started to figure out a little bit in the second half on the run down the stretch. And then the next game, I mean, obviously the Suns aren't a great team to he can kind of get, he's playing against a bunch of smaller guys.
Yeah,
so he can kind of get wherever he wants. But I also thought in that second Phoenix game, one of the impressive things was like it was like the first time I felt like the teammates were like sort of creatively thinking like, oh shit, this guy's like 7'4". Let's like if he's gonna roll, let's get him the ball. If he's gonna roll to the basket, like let's hit him. Let's hit a back. Let's throw a back screen so he can cut down.
Yeah.
Let's get him in the mid range. Like I feel like they haven't done a lot of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Partly because he's been like a little bit inefficient, but
Yeah, the first few games it felt like, it was a little preseason for them. They were like still getting it together. That game it was just like, oh, let's just feed this guy. Let's just keep getting him the ball. And I love it.
Yeah.
Because that's what we all want to see.
It's awesome.
Just to to mash in one of I think that he actually is. I mean, I know they gave up like 155 points last night, the Pacers, but I do think he will be in the Defensive Player of the Year candidate race.
Well, Charles Barkley said he's winning it that day.
I don't know about that, because I don't think the team defense is going to be good enough for people at the end of the day.
Yeah,
but
or just the team will be good enough in general.
Yeah. So, here's some stats.
Yeah.
Opponents are shooting 6.1% worse when Wemby is on the court, which for bigs, who have played 140 minutes, that's number 1 in the league.
Wow.
Yeah. When he's off the court, San Antonio's offensive rating is at 125.1, which is would be one of the best of all time.
Wow.
He's at 2.7 blocks per game. Jaren Jackson had led the league last year with 3. He's the Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And I just think, what we talked about offensively, of him finding his groove, he really is still feeling out that, because he's playing in a help role because Zach Collins is guarding the big.
Yeah.
So he really has to feel out when to help, go for that block, or, stick to shooters. And, I feel like as he learns the league a little bit and gets more reps, he's going to get better at that.
Yeah.
So I think, more steals will be coming. More blocks will be coming.
More blocks on the
but
perimeter.
people just don't want to go into the paint because he's there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think I saw a clip of Paul George on his podcast saying that, he had a wide open 3, and as he was following through, he just see Wemby's hand all of a sudden just almost blocking it. And as he was following through, Paul George was like, "Is this a bad shot?" He thought to himself, "Yeah, his closeouts are pretty impressive. He's getting to them quickly. Yeah, he looks great defensively."
Yeah, I've seen so many meme videos already of people being like, playing with Wemby be like, and then you're taking a shot in an empty court. There's a guy 40 feet behind you, and suddenly there's a hand in your face.
Yeah, so at least contested shot. Okay, you have another impression, Ben?
Well, it's not. It's real quick.
Just go for it.
Okay,
Go for it.
I wrote down all my favorite Clyde quotes from the Knicks Clippers game.
Oh, okay.
I recall this: Clyde in stride, admonishing and astonishing. First, he said it had the ambience of a preseason game.
Okay.
One of my personal favorites: the Knicks without a knack. Wishing they were swishing. Westbrook manipulates and devastates. Banking and thanking is Westbrook. Two guys from Delaware, the state of Delaware. Hacking and whacking.
Of course.
And
Classic.
I'm not in the system, I am the system starting to percolate.
Of course.
And
Classics.
that's all I got. And I also realized when he said that, Harden easily owns the top quotes for this season so far. Between Daryl Morey as a liar and I am.
Yeah,
the
I
system.
am a system.
There's no one else.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's got the
maybe
quote game
maybe
on lock.
Jokic in the second he has some funny stuff, but
Yeah.
nothing quite so iconic.
Yeah, Harden's reaching the kids.
Reaching and teaching is Harden.
Reaching and teaching.
He really is.
Yeah, there was also, I felt like, a lot of tension between Breen and Clyde on exactly what Harden's potential with the Clippers will be. And just like Harden and his teammates, it's all going to come down to a clash of personality.
Interesting. It's possible. All right, another impression, Charles?
Okay. Yeah, my next impression is that the Lakers still suck without LeBron
Okay.
on the court.
Yeah.
All right. I know this number sounds fake, but I double sourced it, and this doesn't count last night's game. The Lakers are a net 49.8 with LeBron on the court. They've been outscored by 29.6 points per possession when LeBron is off the court. It's LeBron's highest net since the 08-09 season in Cleveland, where he was a plus 17.8. Obviously, it'll probably come down a little bit for sure. Christian Wood has been surprisingly good.
Yeah.
He's in the the analytics on all these are per cleaning the glass, by the way. He's all up there in all those analytics.
You're not going to believe this.
I don't get these Cam Reddish minutes, though. Vincent has been bad. Prince has been bad. The numbers really don't like Davis's start to the season, even defensively. But I just think there's way too much of Russell orchestrating the offense.
Yeah.
And I feel like Reeves has kind of been just a little blue balled.
Yeah.
Here. Except for that Magic game, the one in LA, he took over a little bit later.
Okay.
This was surprising. Yeah, Austin Reeves, it doesn't count last night's game, but Austin Reeves has the sixth worst net in the entire league. And we got, I don't know, they're both playing too many minutes, so they still have to kind of.
They do have to figure
They have to sort out these road. I do not like the Cam Reddish minutes if I was them. I like the Cam Reddish minutes because I'm a Celtics fan. But if I was them, I don't like these Cam Reddish. He's proven time and time again he's not a functional rotational player.
Yeah.
So
yeah. There was a game I saw that he made a couple defensive plays, but honestly I'm blanking on even what that game was.
He has been I feel like he's been an aggressive and he's been a good defender, but the shot's not going in.
Oh no, it's not going in.
That cross,
it's not going for a lot of.
How do they have him? It's the last possession of the game, and they have him in the corner that last night when LeBron made that drive.
Yeah.
Why isn't Vincent in that corner? Yeah. Why isn't someone else in that corner?
Yeah.
Who's we know is a capable 3-point shooter? Because Cam Reddish has never proven that he's that.
Yeah.
And some of his misses are just clunk He does kind of kill their offense sometimes, I feel like. So, I think it's just, for me, if this continues for another, 15, 20 games, they're probably out of the title contention for me because they just, they're not gonna survive. You know, LeBron's playing 35.6 with minutes a game, which was helpful. You know, I think that number's actually gone down because they got just their ass beat by the Magic in Orlando the other night, and they didn't play the fourth quarter. But like, he's playing so many minutes, you know.
Yeah, and the whole talk of every ESPN radio show is he's supposed to be on minute restrictions.
You know, Anthony Davis is injured. He's got some spasms going on already.
No.
You know, and if you keep like leaning on LeBron like this, like I just don't. It's not. He's either gonna get injured. He's been injured like the last three out of the last 4 years. He's gonna miss some time.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long season.
It's just too much stress, like, to survive this whole season. And I think it's going to be the same sort of, like, maybe they make another little run in the playoffs again. But I think, like, this team, as constructed right now, is going to run out of steam because...
Yeah.
So.
No, I mean, I agree. They do have a lot of stuff to figure out. Darvin Ham. Okay, more impressions. I have another one. The CP3 experiment is working. Can you believe it? I mean, I don't have too much notes. I haven't seen that many. I've seen a couple Warriors games. But so far, he looks good with the bench unit. He looks good with the starters. It's just working right now. And what did Draymond say? There's a lot more chemistry this year.
Who wants to say it? I wonder why.
I wonder why there's a lot more chemistry. Yeah, Draymond and CP3 are arguing with the refs together. They're having fun, man. This old
they were doing that.
Former dynasty.
Yeah, I think it looks a lot smoother. And they look connected again, which is good. I mean, I think Moody and Kuminga are playing well.
Yep, they're playing well.
So I like it. Still not enough big depth for me.
No.
But you know, all they have to do is survive without when Curry goes to the bench.
Yeah.
That's been their entire thing for the last couple of years. It's similar to
so
the
far.
LeBron situation,
Yeah,
honestly.
it really is.
But they're doing a better job. They're winning on the road, which is something we
Huge.
talked about. They just could not do that last year. We'll see how they stack up against
They got
Denver.
Šarić. Don't sleep on Šarić.
Yeah, sorry, he's been playing all right. I do like some minutes in a couple of those games. But, yeah, I mean, so far it's just kind of working.
Good. They look
It's
really
looking
good.
Yeah, that's all I really got.
Okay.
Do you have another impression, Ben?
I think that's it for me.
That's it for EB? All right, how about you, Chuck?
This one will be kind of short. I think and I know Jamal Murray just got injured. So we'll see when Michael Malone said, like, he didn't think he'd be back soon.
Yeah.
So that's concerning, but I just don't think, we're going to get any clarity on any of these contenders that could, if we do decide that there is a team that could maybe challenge the Nuggets, we're not going to know for another, maybe this is just, this should just be, what's the word? We should just accept this. We should have already accepted this, but I feel like it's gonna take 30 games or something for us to figure out who actually could, in theory, give the Nuggets trouble. Because I look at a lot of these teams, you've got, I think, Boston has looked, they've looked really good so far, but even they, I think, are still figuring out a lot of things when I watch them. Tatum looks a lot better. He's shooting better from the mid-range, shooting better from three, and shooting better at the rim, which I think is good news for his ceiling. I do think he's taken a little step forward, but they have this problem where, it is a little Clippers East to me, where they are a little one-action team. Sometimes they don't even run an action right now. They're just doing a lot of ISO. They're 29th in the league in passes per game. So I just don't think they're their offense, like, and you saw it last night against Minnesota when Minnesota decided to really. I mean, Minnesota's a great defense.
Wait,
but
who we're talking about Boston?
I know, but they played Minnesota last night.
Wait, are we talking about Boston or
I'm
Denver?
talking about Boston.
Oh, okay.
But I'm talking about how the contenders.
Okay, just the contenders in general.
I'm talking about the
Okay.
contenders because I do think like there's just some of these holes that Denver is. They look clean. They look unbeatable.
Yeah.
Like last night, I just wanted to run through like so Boston, right? I think that kind of they're still figuring out those guys and how the crunch times looked a little better. We've got the Suns, right, who are just already decimated. We already talked about the Lakers' troubles.
Yeah.
The Warriors have looked good, but we'll see. We'll see. They have to like keep it up, and I still think they might need a big. And then Philly is I think they're still figuring it out, and the Bucks who have pretty much Giannis is the only player on the team with a good defensive like net rating, and you can tell out there on the court because they give up. Now they have been a little bit better since they were playing this like kind of aggressive like we're going to be up and on the ball, and they got absolutely wrecked those first 4 games. Like teams shot because they were just getting blown by. Like these are the percentages people shot at the rim for Milwaukee over the first 4 games. 85%, 75%, 82%, 75%. Then they moved back Brook into more of a drop.
Yeah.
And over the past 2, it's been 60% and 57%, which is
Much
good.
better, yeah.
But they're still, if you can like get into that mid-range sort of. So like every team has some figuring out to do. But I just like, I wanted to pump the brakes on this because I think there is sort of this notion going around that like the Celtics are on the Nuggets level, and I just don't think that's even. How could you even say that at this point in time?
Yeah. I did write down as one of my impressions the Nuggets look unstoppable right now.
Yeah,
but that was I wrote that down like a week ago.
I still think they do. Like
yeah,
they do, and I don't know how Boston. Like I do think Boston has been better than some of these other teams, but I don't think they've figured anything out yet.
Yeah,
and I don't think so. Like
I mean,
we can look at Milwaukee and we can look at all these teams like for this first week and we can all theorize, but I do think it's gonna take like we're not gonna know shit till so maybe that's not even an impression, but I think it's props to Denver for how clean they look.
Yeah, they do look much cleaner.
So like props to them for just going out there and dominating.
Yep. Do you guys want to touch on the? I'm done with my impressions. I'm foregoing the. My Denver and Milwaukee impressions. You want to touch on the in-season tournament, or do you have one more, Chuck?
Yeah, just to continue on with that sort of Minnesota theme last night. They gotta trade Cat. I think this team could be really good without Cat. And my only take, and I'll make it quick, right? I think sometimes teams, like, they take on the aura of a certain player that they have. Like, was it really... all those years ago in that Game 7 when James Harden's team just missed like 20-something straight three-pointers that bowed them out of the playoffs. Is it any surprise that happened to that Harden team? And I think Cat on this Minnesota team is just similar. Like, he goes out there, he barrels over people, he hooks people, he's got the stupidest fouls ever, and I feel like Minnesota cannot be a serious team until that guy is off the team. I refuse to believe it. Like he's just it's not that I don't think he's not a very serious player, and I don't mean that in the way that like he doesn't try and hard and work at his craft, but the way he plays is just completely reckless with zero awareness out there.
Yeah. And
I think it infects the rest of the team sometimes because they look so messy sometimes. And I guarantee they got these wins over Denver and they got wins and a win over Boston. They're going to go out and to lose to some stupid ass team. That's the time of team they are now. But I think like if they could take on more of Ant's mentality, which is he's just a fucking killer, I think and plus Naz Reid has just been like, he's just really good. So
Yeah, he's been good.
I don't think he's shooting better from 3 than Cat. So I just think like, they don't want to go into that, tax, and he's I don't know. He's just a mess. When they're playing good teams, he's always a mess. He's always going to be a mess.
Yep.
And I think like the rest of the team could show some mental fortitude if he wasn't constantly doing that. So, anyways, I think they got to get him off this team. That's it. I'm done.
That's fair. I think a lot of Minnesota T-Wolves fans would agree with you.
The No Shots Podcast is brought to you by Blurs.com.
All right, in-season tournament. What do we think? I hate the courts. I hate the jerseys. I don't even hate them. Hate's a strong word. I just don't even like any of them. Nothing about it's appealing to me. I still think the tournament could be fun. We've only seen a group play.
I don't know if I love that it happens one day and then the next day it's not happening anymore.
I don't love that.
I get
either.
extending it so it's like some nights are more exciting and it brings in viewers and stuff. But I honestly thought that it was just going to continue all the way, and then it's just like, no.
It will get like that, though, when we get to the knockout round.
No, for sure.
I think that this is fine. Okay, the courts...
Honestly, the courts, some of them are growing on me. Some of them I hate.
I just think...
But some of them
I think they
not.
really... As the uniforms are and courts are here, I just think... I don't mind the color of the courts. It's that big rectangle that they decided to go, like, just do the paints.
Just do the paints.
It's a weird looking, like, shape that doesn't look very basketball-like to me.
It doesn't.
That throws me off. I don't mind that. The jerseys did look a little better because the jerseys are so bland and ugly and the courts are so bright. But I don't get it. Can we just... Everyone picks a cool alternative. Like, we do have cool alternates.
Jersey. Yeah, throwbacks. Doesn't matter.
We're too much. Anyways, I'm a proponent of this is a tournament game, and we're doing this every Friday. We've only been through one Friday.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of how it works on a football schedule.
That's what I was wondering.
Where,
if
like,
that's kind of how...
you're playing all your regular season games, and then boom, here's this, tournament game, and you have to play that one, and then you go back to your regular season. I don't think it's like, this doesn't need to be so impactful, or it doesn't have to, like, go down into the history books.
No.
I just think it's good that we're doing something
I
that's a
agree
little
with that,
more
yeah.
entertaining than just game after game after like game. And I don't even mean to say that the players aren't playing hard in some of, like, in the old regular season, because I do think we get good games. Like, I don't think that is what this fixes. I think it just, obviously I think for the TV deal coming up, but I think it's just fun to have something different going on. Like, why not do this? It just
I
goes
agree.
with the regular season. It can't hurt.
I like the idea of the tournament. I just don't like... I think the courts and jerseys are ugly. That's it. And I don't even care too much to dive deep into
I think it'll be really fun once we get to the knockout round.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And,
I do think it'll get
this
better
is how
as it
early,
goes
like, I feel like this is how early sort of group play is in other sports, too. It's like, well, this is kind of boring, like, to play this one. But when it starts to get... When we're, like, down to the last game, and it's like, oh... The Magic have a chance here. They're playing the Celtics. If they win this game, they can win this group and get into the knockout round. That's going to be a fun game.
Yeah.
But there's no serious excitement for any first game of group play, ever.
What I do like,
fair.
though, is, like, sometimes you'll hear, like, oh, did you see that Warriors game last night? Steph did this and that. And you're like, no, because it's a random regular season game. But now I'm going to have games that I look out for,
I think it's just a fun gimmick. Why can't we do this, like, every, like... I think my one pushback was, could we maybe get it just a little further away from the beginning of the season? Because if you want to create intrigue...
It should be, like, in the...
Kind of in the middle. Because we're already pumped about the season right now. We
Yeah.
don't need this extra little gear.
Extra
it
little
would be fun
caveat.
a little later in this. Like, it has to be in the mid because it can't be in the end.
I
But
feel
Yeah.
like January, February are like the real dead months.
Yeah,
in the
like
NBA.
I agree
So-
with that.
that's my only thing. But I think it was fun, and I think like you know
It can
as,
be
as
better.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously
It
I,
can be funner.
I do think
as it
they
goes
need to
on.
chill out on some of the court. Like,
Yeah, the rectangle.
does
is
everyone
stuffy.
understand the rules, or do we need Michael Imperioli to come on here and explain?
Here's how it's going to go down.
I understand.
I still
the
don't
rules.
understand
No,
the rules.
I don't want to go over the rules.
Bro, I
I'm
read
just
so many.
kidding. I'm
When you
just
read
kidding.
comment
Good.
sections, people are just like, "How the fuck does this thing work?" It makes no
It's
sense.
makes
not
no
that
sense.
hard.
It's not
really
that
isn't.
hard. It
It
shouldn't
really
be.
isn't.
All right,
All right. You're not gonna blame.
I believe it.
All right, you want? I'm gonna touch on my hometown Knicks.
Okay, it's time for
Do
the
you-
hometown run.
Hometown Romp.
Romps. Do you want to go first, Ben, or should I just go for it?
Oh, I thought we were taking turns, so I don't have anything.
It's just the Knicks today, right?
Just the Knicks.
Oh, it's
today.
just the Knicks?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I
One,
thought there
one
would
per,
be more.
one per,
One per, one per.
Okay. All right, I went to a Knicks game.
Remarkably idiotic thing that
What?
you just said, but
What? I went to a Knicks game? Come on, Larry.
Oh, you did go to a Knicks game.
I went to a Knicks game at MSG to the second game against the Cavs, and sat next to these two kids, one with a Cavs jersey, the other one with the Knicks jersey. My dad sat next to like a NBA player's cousin or something, so he chatted him up a little bit.
Did you get the tickets from Sims again?
I don't know who he got them from,
Okay.
but yeah. Our whole section. Obviously, I'm not as hot on this rant. This was written a few days ago because the Knicks did beat the Clippers last night, so I'm a little, as you would. So our whole section was yelling at Julius Randle. This was gonna be a Julius Randle roast. Luckily, he
Are
played
you
good
sure
last
you
night.
still don't want to roast him?
He's still getting roasted. The whole section, his body language is terrible, right? There was one point in the game where he got a switch. He just refuses to roll in this game. And the first 5 games, it's almost like he was playing himself into shape this season, which is just scaring all the Knicks fans.
Yeah, what is this about him? Like, is he like
looks
kind of a guy who's
gassed.
like in his own head a bit? Like,
I think so.
like
Well, I
because
think he was.
why do we have to keep doing this roller coaster with him?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Well, part of it, I think, is the New York fan base.
Oh, of course. That's going to happen. But
Sure,
he
but we're not
chose to
entirely
But
be
you're not
here.
going to
blameless in
see
this.
these
He
roller
chose
coaster
to
moments
be
from
here.
Brunson.
No, you're not.
No,
You won't
but
see it
that's
from
a
other
different
players
guy.
too.
You
I
won't.
know.
Different guy.
That's what I'm saying. What's up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
definitely like a mental thing. I think he gets in his own head a little bit. There was one play where he got a switch on Donovan Mitchell. And he just allowed Donovan Mitchell to keep him on the perimeter and didn't roll. And was just like looking for a foul. It's like, can you... Man, if you don't get this little ass spider out the way and roll to the fucking basket, what is going on with this guy? There was... I'm not going to talk about the missed threes or missed free throws because, it's early. I'll give him some leeway. The whole Knicks fan base wants him traded.
You want a crazy stat?
What?
Yeah.
Okay. This I found on the interwebs. Okay. Through the first 6 games, so it doesn't count the Clippers game, so he's probably not this anymore. Since he had the worst field goal percentage through 6 games since 1959, minimum of 75 attempts.
Yeah. He looked horrible. And there was some of these games
Wait,
where
what about Brunson's field goal percentage? Just curious.
it's not great, but he's had some more big games recently. It started off rough in the first few games.
He also had a rough start. That's all.
But I
Yeah.
think, yeah,
But Brunson
Brunson-
was, still doing the playmaking and being a floor general and still hit like good late game shots like that were contested and
Brunson's.
stuff.
I feel like Brunson's struggles are more of a functionality of how the is a functionality of Randall's struggles and the whole team's kind of offensive struggles. Because
Yeah.
like I just feel like every possession for them is, unless they get out in transition or they get an offensive
Great in
rebound,
transition.
they don't get open shots, and every
Yeah.
shot is like this tough contested, like either Brunson has to just dribble around and around and around. Like he's I feel like he's a maniac though. Like it's impressive even when he like doesn't make, because he's working so hard
really
to get
are.
these shots, because I just don't think they have enough like sort of threatening off, and then especially when Randall is not mentally like there and at his best, they don't have enough options to like create.
No.
And shoot. They're like, I mean,
RJ missed a few games. He's got off to a really good start. I think he'll have a good season. I do think Randall will get better as the season goes.
He can't play worse.
Yeah, true. He can't possibly play worse. But here's the thing. Did you know that last season the Knicks starting five was the best scoring starting five in the NBA?
This is the problem with and they played a lot of isolation. So, this is the problem with it, is I feel like it especially unless you're like an absolute stud at the top, like even like, Tatum's isolation numbers have gone like unless you're KD or, one of these guys, like your isolation numbers do kind of
they fluctuate.
So
that was the thing. The first 5 games were brutal. Randall wasn't making shots in the first quarter, and a lot of our success was Randall having big first quarters last year, and then Brunson and RJ were able to just build off Randall's big first quarters and get their game going. And that just wasn't happening in the first 5 games. It was just brutal to watch. And they would just give up in the second and third quarters, which not to say that he did that last year, but him not having those good first quarters, he kind of just checked himself out of some of these games early on.
Yeah, I mean, he looked really afraid to shoot at times.
Yeah.
I think it was
he didn't want the ball sometimes.
That Bucks game, he was...
Yeah, didn't want the ball. Yeah, some of those Cavs games, didn't want the ball.
Clyde said in the Clippers game, he was like, he's got to start thinking and start shooting.
Stop thinking and start shooting.
I
completely agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can kind of tell he's in his own head out there.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I got. Grimes, he had a slow start. He'll start hitting threes.
Yeah.
RJ's has a solid start. That's it. Brunson, I'm not worried about.
So, the problem is with Randall, like it is like a tumble effect, because it's clear that his offensive struggles affect his defensive struggles.
Yeah.
Like in that.
Don't get me a start. He was just laying like Max Strus below by him. It was insane. It was like, you're fast. Not only you're 5 inches taller than him and 75 pounds bigger, you're also faster than this guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't get past you while dribbling.
Yeah,
but he was just allowing it.
I wrote down a sequence from the Bucks game that they lost. It's like, it's 104-103, and Brunson like kind of takes a dive towards the rim and takes a heavily contested jumper outside the right block. So he doesn't make it. But like Randall starts pouting at the top of the key and like hangs his head, and then just walks slow as molasses back on defense. Meanwhile, Middleton grabs the rebound and is sprinting up the opposite wing, and Hart is like on him.
Yeah.
But Lopez, who gets down the court before Randall does, because Randall is just like sets a screen on Hart, and Middleton like gets right into the paint.
Yeah.
And this causes like a rotation, and eventually Dame makes a cut.
Yeah.
And it's just an easy, and they got him for a layup, and like it was kind of the game at that point.
Yeah.
So like that's like, it was a critical point in the play. If Randall gets back in time, he stops that Middleton, because he was one of the guys he was at the top of the key in that Brunson shot. You should be the first guy back.
Yeah.
And you stop that Middleton like getting into the paint, and the whole thing's off, and you can play half court defense, which we know Knicks are pretty darn good at. So, it's just a tumbling effect when you have a guy like that.
Now, I was not yelling at the top of my lungs, because he did have a great game against the Clippers.
Was good.
Since I've written all these notes down and went to MSG. But yeah, MSG was great, by the way. Staff was great. This was like one of the first times that everything was just good vibes at MSG.
Did you get face scanned?
My dad did. My dad got face scanned, AI scanned. He got filters put on him, and I have pictures, and it's hilarious to me. He did this 4 separate times, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, the last one he gave the finger.
So metal.
And every time he was doing it, people asked him, "Hey, what is this? What's this screen? What you gotta do here?" Other people wanted to go next.
Wait, that wasn't like for entertainment?
Oh no, that was like in the, like where the concessions are, like around the concession stands and bathrooms.
But that's like a fun screen, right?
Yeah.
It's not like a for security screen.
No. But now they do have my dad's face
Of course.
ID.
Of course they do.
Okay. Well, that's all my hometown rant.
Nice.
Oh.
It's the Court Report from Engineer Ben.
For those who don't know, I like to go out and shoot around in the park. Big baller, and I'm not very good. But if anyone is listening to this and you want to throw down some time, I'm around Upper West Side, and I will probably lose. I played last week or something. I think it was a Friday. This kid comes up to me, Elvis. Turns out he was a former Division III player from northern China, is what he said. And we played a little game. His shots weren't falling, and he wouldn't guard me when I went left, so I still lost 10-11. And then we got these 2 other guys. They were all master's students, I think. 2 of them at Columbia, Elvis and one of the guys, and then the other guy was at NYU. Yeah, basketball with master's students, all shorter than me. And then me and one of those guys won the first game. So.
Okay. Redemption,
team pickup, winning a game. And they were all calling me, like, Ben, get low, Ben, get low.
Get down there. Get on the block.
I don't know if it's because,
That's what you got to do. You got to get low. You got to get in that defensive stance.
my funky style of play. No, this was on offense.
Well, it's good to get low on your drives, too. You got to get...
Yeah.
That's how you can kind of,
Protect
the
the ball.
lower you are, the sneakier you can get by.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this would be like I'd be off the ball, and my teammate would have the ball at the top. And I would have to, what do you do when you're off the ball?
Well, there's a number of things you can do. You can cut. You can set a screen.
Yeah.
These are the main 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try those
space the
things.
floor.
Actually, I had
Space
I had a question for you guys for your court reports. What's the worst loss that you remember experiencing in your athletic careers?
Wow. That's a good question.
There was too many.
What was your team like? 1-29.
Oh no! Stop it.
Respect.
We were like, well, we lost 2 of our best players my senior year.
Oh, I remember.
We were 2-18, but I did airball a big 3 in the final closing minutes.
That's tough.
That's tough.
Yeah.
I was in my youth basketball league growing up. I was on a really bad team. I remember my first year. I think we won the first game of the season, but then the rest of the season, none of our main players were showing up to games. Mm-hmm. So I was starting when I shouldn't have been. I was the shortest person in the league, by the way. I think I took a year off. The next year, I went up to to where all my the people who I hung out with in my age were playing. And I was on the best team, the best regular season team. They're like, you're on that team, right? I'm like, okay, great. Didn't get any minutes, right? It was one game I really struggled. So I was like, you know what? All these guys are a year older than me. What if I went back down to the other league with guys my age or a year younger than me? I'll probably dominate, right? Go back down. My team doesn't win the game. And I didn't dominate like I wanted to, but also there was constant missed opportunities where my coach just wouldn't play me how I should have been played and how I begged them to play me.
So you're saying you're not a system player? You're a system.
No, he's saying he is a system player.
I am
but
a
it's
system
the wrong
player.
System.
But it was the wrong system.
Isn't that really the same
I was
thing?
arguably
That's a remarkably idiotic thing.
Yeah, I was arguably the best defender in this entire league. It was every game I should just be on the team's best offensive player. Box and one, the rest of the team plays zone. I guard them. They constantly put our best offensive player on their best offensive player, and they would box and win him. And he would just get cooked all game and then be tired for offense. It was excruciating. It was one game.
Danny
Where?
is a rugged defender.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm a Pat Bev, smart, Tony Allen type.
Dylan Brooks.
Dylan Brooks, yeah. It was one game. It was brutal. There was another game I kind of missed, like a game-tying shot, but it was a contested shot, and the best player in the league, who was taller than me, was contesting it and almost blocked it. I was surprised I even got it off. But not that game. There was another game we were being the best team in the league. We were beating them. And again, it was at the end of the game, and they put, I was kind of like the small forward, like point forward, like guard. They put the two guards who sucked defensively on the two best shooters on the team, right? In the last second, we were up 3. And I was like, nope, I should be on either this guy, who I don't remember his name, but the other guy's name was Danny. We had the same name, so I remembered him. And I remember guarding him and blocking him at the perimeter multiple times the last time we played. So I was like, I should be on either him or him, right? And they're like, no, this is your spot. They put me in the zone. Okay. Guess what? Danny got a 3 opportunity, synced it. I was irate. I was pissed. I pretty much took myself out the game in overtime. And then once they put me back in overtime, I think we were down 4. I got another layup opportunity and missed it because my point guard passed it late. Like he passed it by the time I was contested. Just brutal stuff. We had no team chemistry. Our coaches were awful. We actually had the best coach, but he just got suspended, I think, for the whole year. So we had to go.
For what?
For something in another league, probably. He probably argued with the ref in the older league.
Oh, wow.
So it only trickled and affected us. Brutal, right?
The taxpayer always.
So then the assistant coach was my homie, who me and him always had a little tit for tat thing. Anyways, long story short, they didn't know how to use me.
It's rough stuff, man.
Rough
That's
stuff.
the truth. I have one last
Court
little
report?
court report.
Go for it.
And I wasn't even on the court, but I was on a run. This was on Monday, and there's a little path that runs around the courts up here by my house, and this kid is a stocky, probably 11-year-old kid with high tube stocks and a blue sweatshirt, looking very uncoordinated. He airballed a couple as I was running a little further away. I could see him airball, but he airballed one and went under, and it hit the fence behind the hoop, and he grabs the ball and he shoots it. He shoots it behind, he's facing the fence, and he shoots it backwards over the backboard. Swoosh. What? And I said, hey,
You got
I
one.
don't think he heard me, but
He shot it backwards
congrats to that kid. That was great.
Yeah.
behind the basket. Wow.
Sometimes it's the hardest shots that go in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you got any more Elvis
No.
story?
Oh,
No, that's about it. I have some trivia questions for you if you want.
oh, you want to do some?
Want to do some trivia?
trivia?
Some trivia, real quick.
Yeah. By the way, my theory is Elvis is a listener to the podcast. So shout out Elvis
Yeah,
for playing
shout
with
out
the
for
TV.
coming to play with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he
Beating
took,
me.
he took on the challenge. I
Taking
think.
me
On the
down.
challenge.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he listened.
You know what? I might just have one trivia question.
Okay.
Can you
let's
name
do it.
3 of 4 NBA players whose names end with
Exum.
Dante Exum, ding ding ding.
Ding, ding, ding. That's
Okay.
one. You got
That was
one.
mine.
I'll give Charles a point for that.
It ends in
Yeah, there's 4.
It has to be the sound, right?
No, the letters UM.
Batum. Nicholas Batum.
Oh yeah.
All right, that's 2.
That's it.
No, that's 2 more.
I don't have any guesses.
Okay, well, that's it for trivia then. Thanks for playing.
Wait, let me think a little bit
Oh, okay,
more.
no, sorry. Take your time.
No, I'm out.
This is actually shocking.
Who's the other two?
Jason Tatum.
Oh my god.
And
I kept thinking of the sound because
Yeah.
it's not accented. And CJ
McCollum.
McCollum.
Man,
is the other one.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I'll have more trivia for you next week.
Oh, that was
I
good.
had an interesting. I just was curious, to illustrate, money, because I always think these NBA players make hundreds of millions of dollars. Like that feels to me like all the money in the world.
Yeah.
But it's not. Do you know how rich Steve Ballmer is?
Oh,
What do you think his net worth? Just take a stab.
I'm going 5 billion.
What do you think, Charles?
100 billion.
Yeah, that's much closer. It's 103 billion. All right, now I looked
Jeez.
up the top 11.
I should get a point for that. I was super close.
I'll give you a point for that.
Give him.
I looked up the top 11 richest NBA players. This is not like paid right now. This is all time.
One time, Jordan.
Jordan's number 1.
I should get a point.
Okay, I'll give you a point for that. LeBron's number
it. That's
LeBron's
like
number
half a
2.
Yeah.
LeBron's number 2, etc., etc. Actually, it's the top 11 because KD and David Robinson are tied. Their wealth adds up. All those guys combined, their wealth, according to this, this was, I'll tell you the website, Odyssey.com.
Oh, the Odyssey.
6.34 billion.
Not even close. Closer to my guess.
That's 6%
Jesus
Yeah.
of the amount of money that Steve Ballmer
Well,
has. So
he's paying all those
you
guys.
can't play the Clippers.
That's for sure.
yeah.
He's going to pay Harden. He's going to pay
Yeah.
Paul George.
Paul
He's going to
George.
pay all the guys.
It's
Paying
like,
them all.
fuck it, yeah. May as well just
Fuck it.
go for Bradley Beal. Who
Wait till
cares?
they just completely fall apart.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, that has been trivia.
That has been trivia. Boing.
Thank you for playing.
You guys want to get into the quick shots?
Yeah, let's do quick shots.
Quick shots. Let's do it. Our awards predictions.
Yeah, we're a little late on this, but
Super late. All these I've written down before the season.
these
I
were in my
have
mind
no-
before the season.
I have no influence on the first 6 or 7 games of the season. These were all, I mean, some of them were. Do you guys want a specific award to start with?
Let's do all our awards and
Well, let's do Rookie of the Year.
okay.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year. Okay, obviously, Victor Wembanyama.
Victor Wembanyama. Yeah.
I got.
I got
Other than
I got
Wembanyama,
Scotty
you
Barnes.
guys, you got
That's not a rookie.
Yeah, but he won one though.
You know what?
does.
I'll take Chet.
yeah. Other than Wemby, I got Chet. I got Chet over Scoot.
Who else is there?
Chet, Scoot,
And Brandon Miller.
Brandon Miller,
Osar
Scoot.
Thompson.
also Thompson.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
that's
I'll
gonna go
take
with-
Chet.
Okay.
Yeah, I would go
Sure.
Chet over Scoot or anyone else.
Yeah.
No, but I'm taking Chet over Wemby.
Wembanyama, whoa.
The Spurs just might not be that
That's
good.
a remarkably idiotic thing that
No,
you just
I-
said, but
His
enough.
efficiency is way better. He's scoring about as many points a game, and he's on a
True.
better team.
Oh.
He's gonna play real minutes.
Ooh,
So,
real minutes.
Yeah, but we just love watching
vibe.
Wemby. The vibe.
The vibes
exactly.
are
you
there.
know,
Real
these
Wemby.
things are
Really
emotional,
hard.
so
It's
people might
very
just fall in
emotional.
love with the vibe. But I don't know.
True.
Maybe if there's enough nerds out there. All right,
I'm not mad at it.
There'll
All right,
never be enough
where do you
nerds
want to go
out there.
next?
six man.
Six man. I have 4 names written down.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough one. I took a stab in the dark and said Malik Monk.
Malik Monk.
I like
that's one-
Malik.
It's one of my names.
Who you?
Oh,
Who you
okay,
name-
who you
I'm
I'm
picking?
waiting for you.
You picking me? All right, I'm gonna go with my boy Nas Reed.
Oh, I like it.
I like it.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
So in the beginning of the season, I was so sure before the season started, this is Cam Thomas's year.
He's
Cam
starting now
Thomas
though.
for the Brooklyn Nets. Fortunately, the Nets are so bad offensively they have to start him. So give me my hometown guy, Manuel Quickly.
I think it's
Hometown.
Quickly is a really good bet because he
he was a runner-up last year.
runner up, and Brogdon's completely out of the picture because
Yeah.
he's on that terrible Portland team. So, and he's really good.
Yeah, he's really good. Yeah, he's got a good start to the season. The 4th name I have Monk, Quickly, Cam Thomas, Jaden Ivey.
Oh.
Oh.
Sleeper.
Reports are he's not happy coming off the bench.
Yeah.
All right. Clutch.
But I wrote this before the year.
Clutch player of the year.
Clutch player of
Ben,
the year.
who you have?
I put down Ant.
Ant.
Ooh.
Nice. He had a good clutch game last
Just
night.
because
he did.
basically just because of that. But yeah, he dominated those OT minutes.
That's a good one.
For sure.
I'll go. I have Luka. I also have,
I
for
was
all these
considering Luka
awards,
too. Yeah.
a Knicks version. So I also have Brunson down there.
I'm also gonna take Luca.
Okay, we've got the Luka boys.
All right. Next up, we got most improved. Ben, who do you have for most?
For most improved, I put Halliburton.
Halliburton. Very nice.
Great one. I got multiple names. So do you want to go
Who's your
first?
pick? Okay, I'll go. I'm going Maxey. It's just it's a pretty plain Jane pick, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I think almost Halliburton's too good to be most improved.
Most improved. He was an all-star
Yeah.
last year. Yeah, Maxey
But
looks
he is
I
improved.
see that.
like
though.
the front runner.
Yeah.
I wrote down Jordan Poole. I wrote down RJ Barrett for my Knicks pick. But my actual pick, give me Franz Wagner.
Oh, I like it.
Sneaky,
I like it. I
sneaky
like it.
pick. Yeah.
All right. Next up, we got defensive player of the year.
I have two names.
I put Gobert.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah,
They're gonna be a real good defense this year.
yeah, I tried so hard not to write Gobert.
I know. I
I
thought
put
this-
two, I have two names who
I get-
haven't won it. I have Anthony Davis and Bam Adebayo.
Anthony Davis never won one, huh?
He's never won one. I was hoping this would be his year. So far, he
Yeah.
started off pretty poorly defensively. We'll see how this season goes.
Okay, but who you got?
I got AD.
You got AD. Okay, I'm gonna take Bam then.
Okay.
It's been 2 years of him complaining about
Yeah.
the fact that he hasn't won the award,
he definitely
and
deserves it.
so complaining works. That's
Yeah.
what we've learned.
Yep.
All right, MVP.
MVP.
Ben, who you got?
I put down the big man, the Serbian ham, Nikola Jokic.
Serbian
Nikola
ham.
Jokic.
Jokic is just one of my options.
Who you got? Ben?
I wrote down the first names I wrote down were Dame / Giannis.
It kind of defeats the purpose of making a pick.
Yeah,
You
got
have
my
to
pick-
multiple options
No,
for
because
each one.
because I have a pick.
Okay,
My pick
okay,
is
okay.
Jason Tatum.
Oh,
get outta here.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
was
shot.
actually considering putting Tatum.
Slam the mic. We got Tatum. MVP.
MVP.
Oh, you cursed. Yeah.
I also wrote down you.
Let me tell you. No,
And the
Tatum,
Celtics are going to win the finals.
Tatum's not going to win this award because he's first of all, there's too many good players on his team.
Yeah.
I got Jokic. He's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's coming off. I wanted to pick before the season. I really wanted to pick. It was kind of between. I had Booker and Jokic because I think Booker is really good. But
I
he
did consider
he
him.
clearly just can't play enough games.
Yeah.
That's just what it comes out. So I got the big
Plus, he's
Joker.
sharing the floor now.
All right, we've got a bonus round here.
Bonus.
Winner, chicken dinner.
We've got your finals prediction on the spot.
Ooh.
So Ben, who you got over who in the NBA Finals?
In the NBA Finals.
Yep.
Quick shots.
Let me think about it. Okay.
On the spot.
On the spot, I guess, Oh, Jesus. I'm gonna take the Nuggets, and
Over
I'm just gonna be conventional and say the Celtics.
Nuggets over Celtics. Ben says. Danny, who you got?
I wanted
over
to
who?
say Nuggets over Celtics, but I'll just go Nuggets over Bucks just
Nuggets
to be
over
different. Slightly
All right.
different.
Well,
I
I'm not
actually
gonna.
feel like the Sixers will get to the conference finals this year.
It's not going to happen.
Okay. The conference finals.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be
Danny, you
Sixers.
said
I
Boston.
said years ago the Sixers would never make a finals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Years ago. This is when they
I
started.
think they can make an Eastern Conference Finals. All right.
Okay,
yeah, I'm
okay,
being
okay.
traditional over here as well, and I'm going to pick the Nuggets over the Celtics. So.
Fair enough.
All right.
All right, that's it
Everyone's fighting.
for quick shots.
Well, that's about all she wrote. But before we go, it was mentioned at the top of the podcast a segment called Farewell to a Friend.
We're completely in the dark about this, by
We
the
have
way.
no idea what.
You guys know exactly.
Wait,
where I'm
before
going
you
with this.
start,
2 weeks of
is this going to
suspense.
make Ben want to quit the show?
What?
Because
I already have like 10
they're
different
already on the
reasons.
edge.
Hold on. This is about. Let me get to my
Crazy
bit.
over there.
All right, so Farewell to a Friend. Is this the end of the road for EB, Engineer Ben. They are moving to a place far, far away.
I knew it was.
And now they are leaving the No Shots podcast. Can you believe this?
Can you play when you edit this? Can you play like the Oscar speech music when they play when they try to get people off the stage?
Yes.
Where they're going, who knows?
I'm moving.
All I know is that EB is gone.
I'm living in the same city.
This is their last episode.
I'm actually moving closer to where we take
Where
the pod.
are they going?
It's not a mystery.
Ben, are you leaving the podcast?
No.
Where are you moving to?
I'm moving to Crown Heights.
Which is?
Where is that?
Which is in Brooklyn?
In Brooklyn.
Oh.
Exactly where I'm going to next.
We're in Brooklyn.
We are saying goodbye to EB, Engineer Ben. And we are now introducing the new engineer of the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. And people, by the way. Welcome, EB. Brooklyn Ben.
Brooklyn.
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 EB is no more. Is outlawed from this town and this podcast. Brooklyn Ben is born.
Wow. That's beautiful. How do you feel about that? That was an
do you think about
inspiring
that?
speech, don't you think, BB?
Yeah, BB.
I'm fired up and ready to rumble.
BB's first words on the podcast.
You call me BB?
What's your favorite part about your new neighborhood? Not that you would have any idea yet.
Yeah, that is the thing. You know, I went down to my building's basement, and it's just one long hallway. And at the end of the hallway, there's a door. And I opened the door, and I was outside.
And there you have it.
That's how you get to Crown Heights.
And that's how you get to Crown Heights. So, yeah.
Maneuver the neighborhood.
Yeah, no, actually, my favorite thing, well, compared to my current apartment, is just how quiet it is. We have windows overlooking a courtyard. It's going to be awesome. Going to be able to sleep in the morning, not hear like pounding construction,
fire trucks,
honking.
We'll see about that.
Yelling.
Yeah.
Well, I heard a guy
Until
literally
I
go,
come over.
So you come. Well, you can,
Till
you
I
can be
come
as loud
over.
as you want.
Just bang pots by the window
Bang
in that
pot-
courtyard.
Yeah, well, some guy in the street I heard the other day just literally go boop 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 boop.
West Side Gun.
Yeah, so loud.
Boop, boop, boop. That's great.
But no, yeah. So I'm not gonna miss all the noise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's valid.
Thank you for that eulogy. Engineer Ben will be missed, but I think Brooklyn Ben will be a new era.
Yep, this is the start of something new.
Ben
Something
Banyama,
I
you
am-
could say.
Kind of sad.
special. A little sad.
A little sad.
A little sad.
Well, we
It's
can.
farewell
I'm not
to a
gonna.
friend.
The apartment will still exist. We can always go up to.
No, I mean about losing EB.
About losing EB.
Yeah, he was a great guy, wasn't he?
Great guy.
Yeah.
Now
He
he's
literally
gone.
ran
Well,
out the room
they-
before we finished this segment.
Remember.
I can't believe I just
Remember
misgendered EB.
Now EB, he'll never be on the podcast again though.
Rip.
All right.
Welcome,
well,
BB.
So are we doing World Series predictions? Or
Oh
what?
yeah, we are. Next year,
Thank
World
you
Series.
for that.
That's how we had everything.
Congratulations
Appreciate
to
it.
the
Congratulations
Texas
to the
Rangers.
Texas Rangers.
World Series prediction winners. Next year, Yankees, baby. New York.
New York, hot spreading.
We're not doing this again.
news.
Yeah,
Stop
we
it.
did.
Okay, we did that last time. What's your prediction?
Yankees. Do I have to pick who they beat?
Yeah.
Yankees over Phillies.
Okay.
It's crazy. So early. I'll take the Braves over the. Actually, no. Fuck that. I'm taking the Cubbies.
Ooh.
Taking the
I
Cubbies
guess Shohei.
over. I'll take the Cubbies over the Astros.
I'll take the Orioles
Ooh.
over the Dodgers.
Oh. O's versus Dodge.
They're in different leagues, right?
All right, one day we'll stop doing those World Series predictions, but for now,
today will not
we
be.
felt in the mood.
Wanna throw out a quick rest in peace to what's this guy's name? Matthew Perry.
Oh,
Oh.
friends.
Friends. Yep. Could I be any more sadder?
Might be a cut.
Maybe too soon.
Could I be any
But no,
more sadder?
genuine Chris.
This is a new
rest in
segment.
Yeah,
peace
no,
to him.
it is
And
sad
also
when people go too early.
to
Yeah, definitely
late
trash.
great Bobby Knight.
Oh, yeah.
Gonna miss
Yeah,
seeing
what a
those
ferocious guy.
throwing the chairs. I honestly thought he died a while
He
ago.
was a scary man.
Yeah, he scared me.
Yeah.
Scary guy. He was a coach for NC State, right? Ben? No.
Indiana.
Indiana. He used
He
to
led
throw
the-
chairs on
I
the court.
believe he did lead the undefeated in. I could be wrong about this, but I think he led
I think
the
so.
only undefeated NCAA basketball team in history.
Yeah.
The Indiana Hoosiers. So,
Indiana Hoosiers. So rest in peace to those guys.
rest in peace.
All right.
And then until next time,
This has been the No Shots Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in.
with Chuck and Duck and BB.
The No Shots Podcast is brought to you by Blurbs.com.